Okay, number 7 on the algebra skills worksheet. I'm going to start by identifying the vertex. It says x squared plus 2. So since there's no parentheses around the x, that means there's no horizontal shift. The 2 at the end means that I'm shifting it up 2. So x squared plus 2. My vertex is 0, 2. Feel free to watch the videos for 1 through 6 where I explain where that vertex comes from a little bit more. So 0, 2 is my vertex. Then I need to graph points around the graph. And you can make a table to do this, or you can also use quadratic patterns. Quadratic patterns look like this. If I take 0 and square it, I get 0. That counts as my vertex. If I go 1 on either side of that, either -1 or 1, those are 1, which means that when I go 1 to the left and 1 to the right, I'm also going up 1, because -1 squared is 1 and 1 squared is 1. So it's over 1 to the left, up 1. If I go 1 more to the left at -2 and 2, 2 squared is 4. So I could plot those points if I was just graphing y equals x squared, but what that means from a shifted graph is that if I go 2 to the left from 0 to 2, so 2 boxes over, I need to go up 4 total boxes. So over 2, up 4 from the vertex. Over 2, up 4 from the vertex. And then if I plug in -3 or 3, we know that 3 squared is 9. And what that tells you from your vertex is that if you go over 3 boxes, you're going to go up 9 boxes. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there's also another way to look at this pattern, which we'll use in the other videos. I can draw that curve. And the pattern that we see with quadratics is that every time I go over 1, I go up by a different rate. So when I go over 1 from the vertex, I went up 1. Then the next time I went over 1 from that point, so I increased my x by 1, I increased my y value by 3. And the next time I increased my x value by 1, I increased my y value by 5. And I know 4 squared is 4 times 4 is 16. So if I look at how that's increasing, as my x value increases by 1, my y value increases by 7. And I can treat all these as slopes. So the first point from point to point is a slope of 1 over 1, then a slope of 3 over 1, then a slope of 5 over 1, then a slope of 7 over 1, and that keeps going. And this is the standard way a quadratic graph is going to look. And so I can start by plotting my vertex, and then I can actually count that on a graph. Over 1 up 1, over 1 up 3, over 1 up 5. It's a fast way to get my points. And so what we'll see with the rest of these graphs is that I can either use that standard graph each time, or I have to pay attention to a steeper graph, which we call a vertical stretch.